In the heart of the city, tucked away in a forgotten corner of a crumbling building, Elais Morgan's office was shrouded in shadows. A single oil lamp flickered on his desk, its dim glow casting ghostly shapes across the walls. Papers lay scattered around him, evidence of past cases that never seemed to leave his mind. On this particular evening, the air felt heavier than usual. A peculiar envelope rested on his desk. Although Elais had no recollection of hearing anyone enter, the envelope was old, sealed with crimson wax imprinted with a symbol resembling a skeletal hand. He hesitated before breaking the seal. The letter inside was brief, written in a jagged, desperate script. "This house is not empty. Shadows linger here. Come before the truth comes for you." Alongside the letter was a burnt fragment of a map, the address faintly legible. Elais' pulse quickened as he recognized the location, an abandoned manor at the edge of the city, a place steeped in grim tales and superstitions. The storm outside had grown louder, rain lashing against the windows, as if urging him to reconsider. But Elais was no stranger to danger or curiosity. He grabbed his satchel, tucked the letter inside, and lit his lantern. The journey to the manor was fraught with unease. The road wound through an overgrown forest, the mist curling around the gnarled branches like bony fingers. Every so often, he thought he heard whispers, faint and fleeting, carried by the wind. But each time he turned, he found nothing. The manor emerged from the fog like a phantom. Its towering structure loomed against the stormy sky, the windows dark and lifeless, save for one. A faint light flickered in an upper window, a beacon of foreboding. The wooden gate groaned as Elais pushed it open, the sound echoing unnaturally in the stillness. Inside, the air was stale and thick, tinged with the scent of decay. The floorboards groaned beneath his boots, their protest merging with the distant creak of unseen movement. He paused, raising his lantern to examine the entryway. The walls were lined with faded portraits, their subjects blurred, as though someone had deliberately smudged their faces. One painting, however, caught his eye. A family of 4 stood solemnly, a father, a mother, and 2 children. Their features were missing entirely, replaced by black voids where faces should have been. Elais shivered but pressed on. The further he ventured, the louder the house seemed to breathe. Whispers grew more distinct, slipping between the cracks in the walls and circling him like invisible predators. A faint melody began to play, soft, eerie, and distinctly otherworldly. It led him to a parlor where a gramophone sat spinning on its own. The record hissed before a voice, distorted and guttural, broke the silence. "You shouldn't have come." Elais froze. The voice was both alien and oddly familiar, like hearing one's own scream in a nightmare. The sound grew louder, reverberating through the room until the gramophone abruptly stopped. He stepped back, his lantern flickering, when he noticed a door at the end of the room. It was marked with strange symbols carved deep into the wood, glowing faintly as though alive. Against every instinct, he reached for the handle. The room beyond was unlike anything he had ever seen, a circular space, lit by candles that burned with an unnatural blue flame. At its center stood an altar, and atop it lay a book. The tome seemed to pulsate with energy, its cover adorned with the same skeletal hand symbol as the envelope. As he approached, the air grew colder. The shadows around the room began to stir, writhing and converging as if aware of his presence. He hesitated but knew he couldn't turn back now. With trembling hands, he opened the book. The pages were filled with symbols that twisted and shifted before his eyes, refusing to be understood. And yet, they spoke to him, their meaning etched into his mind. Blood for truth. A price must always be paid. The candles flickered violently, and the shadows around him began to take shape. They rose from the floor, merging into humanoid forms with hollow, glowing eyes. They moved closer, their whispers now a deafening roar. Elais clutched the book, frantically searching for answers. As the shadows reached out, their cold, inhuman hands grazing his skin, he instinctively began to read the words aloud. The room exploded with light. The shadows screeched. their forms unraveling into streams of smoke. The candles extinguished themselves, leaving him in total darkness. Then, silence. When his lantern reignited, the room was empty. The book was gone, replaced by a charred imprint on the altar. In its place lay a single key, ancient and rusted, attached to a small tag. Scribbled on it was a name he didn't recognize. Elais staggered out of the manor, the key clutched tightly in his hand. He didn't look back, even as he felt the unmistakable weight of unseen eyes watching him from the windows above. Back in his office, the rain had stopped, but the air remained heavy. Elais sat at his desk, the key resting before him. He opened his journal and began to write. The shadows in that house were not bound to its walls. They are free now, and they know my name. With that, he leaned back, staring at the key as a single thought echoed in his mind. This was only the beginning.